What's going on, Port fans? Welcome back to another video on my channel, and today we're going to review Port Adelaide's round 19 clash against the Western Bulldogs. A great 44-point win in Ballarat in what were some awful footy conditions, but nonetheless we got the job done. So let's have a look and see exactly what happened and who were the best on the day. Well, Port fans, Port Adelaide are back on the winners list after a couple of down weeks, but we got the job done in Ballarat in what were, as I said, some very dreary conditions. It was an ugly game of footy in the first half, but they broke out a little bit in the second half, and it was just good to see us be quite calm under pressure. We were very solid, and we just, went about our business as per usual. It was a good performance. Yes, we made some few mistakes, but those mistakes were what you would expect in some of those conditions. And the Bulldogs did challenge us at stages, especially in the first half. And late in the third quarter, but I felt like it was always never really in doubt in the end. We were just too good on the day. We were creating opportunities, and we were really just pushing the Bulldogs' defence, and in the end it proved too costly for them, and 44 points is a good percentage booster as well to put us back in the top four, a game or half a game ahead against the Giants, and a tough month ahead for the Power with Adelaide, West Coast, Collingwood and Essendon all to come. So a very big month, so that win was very, very important considering the stakes are at hand. So good job by the boys and good job by Kenny Hinkley to just go down there and do the business that we went to go out and do. How good is our team with Paddy Ryder and Tommy Jonas back in the side? I mean, it's just proves that you need a ruckman to keep our structure. We play so much better with a ruckman. Sure, Paddy's our best ruckman on the list. We know that. He's a damn good ruckman, one of the best in the AFL. But if you played someone like a Billy Frampton or something like that, we might have just won those last couple of games and really continued our structure. You could have kept Charlie Dixon forward, because look how much better he plays when he's deep inside 50 one-on-one. I pointed it out last week. I've been pointing it out all year. You play Charlie deep forward, he's going to win one-on-one. He kicked 5 goals on the weekend because of it. His preferred position is down forward. Sure, he can come up the ground, present as a target, but that's what we got Watts for. That's what Westhoff is there for too. Charlie's a deep forward player, and when he's down there one-on-one, and Marcus Adams was no match for him, he just tore the Bulldogs' defence to shreds. He was clunking marks in conditions you're not meant to. He was collecting contested possessions. He was tackling. He chases the ball. He's a good dynamic forward to have, and we can't be putting him in positions where he doesn't play well, or he's not his best. Deep forward, he'll kick a bag of goals, and it happened on the weekend, and just proves it shows that Paddy Ryder is the most important ingredient in our list. Tommy Jonas was excellent down back as per usual. Homch down there as well. We didn't so much look like we missed Dougal Howard too much. There weren't too many contested marks down in their forward half. Obviously they don't have a main forward. They've only got really Shaki and a couple of others that we tend to go down there. So it was a good collective effort from the defence. Houston, Bonner, DBJ on Johansson was awesome as well to tag him. And yeah, DBJ looked like he only had 10 disposals, but he kept Johansson to like 10, or I think it was 10, something like that as well. So well done by DBJ to shut down one of their more prolific ball winners. It's just a special mention as well. I mean, the atmosphere down there was only 6,000 people. It was very cold. A lot of players have come out and said that was the coldest game they've ever played in. We certainly brought the heat to the Ballarat anyway. Especially the Port faithful. They were fantastic behind the goals. The Appleton crowd, the Port Adelaide cheer squad, the Victorian Port Adelaide fans as well, that all travelled down there. And all Port fans that travelled from everywhere to go see this game. You created so much noise, and the atmosphere felt like it was our own home game. 6,000 people. I reckon, there was at least 2,000 of us there. And it was just fantastic to enjoy. It made the game so much more better. And, it brought a country feel to the game. So it was a very special mention to the Port faithful. They were fantastic. So where does that leave us now? The game itself was, as most of us saw, it was very scrappy. It was very not as skillful. Both teams went about 60% disposal efficiency. Port Adelaide had a little bit more possession of the footy. We were more direct with the footy as well, which I thought was very good. All the play was on the outer wing as well, which was very surprising in those conditions, especially in the grandstand this side. you could have very easily avoided all that wind and probably travelled a little bit more. We avoided the corridor a bit more too, which I thought was very interesting. It worked quite well for us to go wide. The Dogs went into the corridor a little bit more. It was not as daring, but I think as the game opened up a bit more, we started to explore some different options, and they were very, very clear that we, wanted to just get it deep, keep the ball in our forward half, and we, created a lot of scoring opportunities from that. 11 goals, 12, a little bit disappointing in front of goal, but it is understood, especially with the conditions as well. So we'll let that slide for this week, but it can't hurt us anymore in the coming weeks, especially with such big games coming up. Our run was very impressive, I thought, as well, especially in the first half. The prolific ball winners we have, Power Pepper might have only had 14, Motlop only had 12, I'm pretty sure, but they were very good with the ball. They were very precise, and they're very good in those conditions. And the showdown's looking likely it's going to be similar conditions, a bit wet. So we know what happened last year, and I'll talk about that in the preview coming out later in the week. But these conditions rely on such ball winners to help us move the ball a little bit quicker, be more direct. And Motlop, Power Pepper, Boak was pretty good with the ball again. Polek was awesome. These ball winners that would just, keep getting the ball and hitting targets, which is very crucial. And, being more direct, as I keep saying, is very crucial in these weather conditions. A couple more mentions I want to finish up before I get to the votes, and some key stats as well that we'll look at. As I said, with being direct as well, inside 50s, 58 to 49. We had a 45% efficiency going forward, which is okay for scoring shots. The Dogs only had 30, so when I say 30%. Contested possessions, they say when Port play well, we win the contested possessions, and that's when we win the game. 174 to 163 our way, so 10 extra contested possessions, and that was led by Polek, who was just awesome in there. 13 contested. Ollie Wines, Wingard, both had 16 contested as well. So again, those ball winners that just stood up. Our midfield was so much better coming out of the middle, and at each stoppage around the ground. Tackles as well. We had more of the ball, yet we tackled more, 86 to 83. And as I said, the hit-outs, 47 to 43. Riders so much more important. And players like Ollie Wines, Power Pepper, Motlop, Polek, Ebert, they all thrive off that tap. And that's why we win more of the contested ball, because we've got that tap rack work that we're feeding off of, and our players just go to work on the ground. And it's so much more confident, and it just flows so much better. Moving out. I just want to change the tune a little bit. A special mention to umpire, I think it's Elaine Gluftus? Something like that. She was fantastic, I must say. I've only seen her a couple of times umpire, but from what I've seen, she read the game so well. She was such a direct umpire. She called the right calls. She let the ball play on, and it just opened up the game a lot more. Pennell and the other bloke that was there as well, I can't remember his name, I think it was Dolman or Darman or something, I don't know. They were good too. I thought Pennell was better than what he usually is with Port anyway, so it wasn't a bad day for umpires. But Elaney, well done. I really like the way you went about your business. And a special mention as well to Jackson Trengove, who was the best Bulldogs player on the day, and it just shows that, unfortunately we had to let him go, and it was tough to let him go, but he was fantastic, and he had 10 clearances as well. So special mention to Jackson. You're always going to be a Port boy at heart, so well done to Jackson. He was playing very well, and hopefully his form continues on. Alrighty, Port fans, let's have a look at the votes. As you know, the rule is 5 votes for a win, 3 votes for a loss. So let's have a look and see who exactly did pretty well on the day, and I think we have a right idea of who did. 1 vote goes to Ollie Wines, 26 touches. He had 7 tackles, 16 contested possessions, and as per usual, the ball was just awesome in and around the ball. 2 votes goes to Chad Wingard, who once again in these conditions is just a very slick player, really. He's just always prolific around, and this midfield role that he's got at the moment is really proving to be a career turner, I feel, at the moment. He's in pretty good form. 1 goal, 25 touches, 16 contested possessions as well, and 6 tackles, which is awesome for a midfielder to get that much. So he was great on the ground and went forward late and took a couple of good marks too. 3 votes goes to Brad Ebert. He had 20 touches on the weekend. He also had 11 tackles, which was a game high, and 6 marks as well, which as well was a game high for Port. So he's a good marker, and especially in those conditions. He's finding a bit of form of late. I think him rolling around in the middle a little bit more, down back, I think I saw him a couple of times as well, and also down forward he's really being finding a bit of form again after having a bad patch. 4 votes goes to Jared Pollock. He's trying to find that money worth for his contract, that's for sure. 32 touches, 13 contested possessions, and 6 clearances, and hit so many damn targets on the weekend in those conditions. He was just everywhere. Every time the TV was around the ball, Pollock was there. So he's in some good form, and he's been very consistent this year. And 5 votes goes to Big Charlie. He was awesome on the weekend. I think we all love a bit of Big Charlie getting the ball. 5 goals, 14 touches, 5 marks as well. I think 4 of those were contested. And he's been a good patch of form as of late. 25 goals for the year. That's starting to rise up a bit more. You'd hope he'd kick another 10, 15 more goals going into finals. So he's proving to be a very, very key. And he's really hitting his straps right as the big time of the year comes along. So well done to all those players. They were great on the weekend. And well done to the Port boys for getting the job done. Alright, Port fans, champion of the week time, and I think I'm just going to mention the best player on the ground, Mr. Charlie Dixon. Good to see him get some form. So Charlie Dixon is your champion of the week. A very, very good day at the office. He always had a smile on his face the whole day. He was just fantastic up forward. Thrived with Paddy Ryder back in the side. 5 goals, which is an equal career high at Port Adelaide as well. So well done to Big Charlie. He was awesome on the weekend. It's good to see him finding some form. Well, Port fans, that wraps up this round 19 review of the Dogs taking on Port Adelaide. 44-point win. Got a big month ahead. Stay strong with the faithful Port fans. We're going to do this. We're going to go into finals very positive, and get a few wins on the board, ready for a big top 4 finish, and hopefully a good finals campaign. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for tuning in on Spreaker through Port Fan Radio if you're listening. As well, tune into the Portress podcast for all your Port Adelaide content, 8 PM every Wednesday night, so make sure you like us on Facebook. The Footy Chat podcast, if you're interested in more AFL content, and latest podcast is out now, so go have a look on SoundCloud. And also, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe for plenty more Port Adelaide content coming your way on a weekly basis. Thanks for tuning in, Port fans. My name is Anthony, and as per usual, come there.